Welcome to my YouTube channel Safety Guidelines. I am Fahim Azam. The topic for this video is very interesting and informative. It is very special as it is related to gas cylinder safety. Let's move on. Please do watch it thoroughly until the end to get benefits of this video. And the outline is: number 1, general rules for handling gas cylinders; number 2, receiving cylinders; number 3, cylinder storage, chemical compatibility; number 4, moving transporting cylinders; number 5, labeling cylinders; number 6, cylinder fittings, gas tubing; number 7, regulators. General rules for handling gas cylinders. All compressed gas cylinders shall be secured with chain or strap between the waist and shoulder of the cylinder at all times. This includes empty cylinders. Empty cylinders must be kept. Cylinders must be kept away from electrical wiring where the cylinder could become part of the circuit. Store cylinders in well ventilated areas designated and marked only for cylinders. Store cylinders in an upright position. Empty cylinders should be clearly marked and stored as carefully as those that are full because residual gas may be present. Mark empty cylinders empty. Keep valves closed on empty cylinders. Protect cylinders from corrosive vapors and sources of heat. Do not store cylinders in egress areas near emergency exits, hallways, or under stairs. Do not keep cylinders more than 5 years past their hydrostatic test date. Receiving cylinders. Do not accept the cylinders past its hydrostatic test certification. Do not keep a cylinder past its hydrostatic test certification. This is due to Department of Transportation regulations. It is not legal to transport a cylinder that is out of date, so technically the gas supply company can't remove it if it is out of date. Do not accept cylinders unless they are clearly labeled as to their contents. Never rely on cylinder color as an indicator of the cylinder's contents. Cylinder caps and valves should not require anything more than hand pressure to open. Do not accept the cylinder if this is not the case. Cylinder storage, chemical compatibility. Cylinder must be stored in compatible groups. Flammable from oxidizers. Keep oxygen cylinders a minimum of 20 feet from flammable gas cylinders or combustible materials. If this cannot be done, separation by a non-combustible barrier at least 5 feet high, having a fire rating of at least half an hour is required. Note: this applies to cylinders in use, backup cylinders stored in labs, and empty cylinders. Corrosive from flammable or oxidizers 20 feet in outdoor storage area does not apply when cylinders are indoors in gas cabinets. Note: corrosive gas cylinders are not allowed indoors unless they are in gas cabinets. Moving or transporting cylinders. Never move a cylinder that is not capped. Always use a cylinder cart to move cylinders from place to place. Do not roll or twirl them from one place to another. Do not use the protective valve caps for moving or lifting cylinders. Do not drop a cylinder or permit them to strike each other violently or be handled roughly. moving cylinders and dewars on elevators. When possible, use freight elevators. Do not allow other people to ride the elevator with the gas cylinder. Politely ask them to wait for the next elevator. Labeling cylinders. The cylinder, not the cap, must be labeled as to the contents and supplier. Do not rely on cylinder color to identify cylinder contents. Color coding is not universal and varies from one supplier to another. Cylinder labels must be facing out as so as to be visible to lab inspectors and emergency responders. Isha labels for gas cylinders should be affixed to the wall, preferable, are kept in a notebook in the lab. Gas cylinders use the green label system for high throughput chemicals. The label stays on the wall even when the gas cylinder is changed out. There is no requirement to remove the old cylinder from the system and re enter the new cylinder every time the cylinder is changed out as long as the replacement cylinder has the same contents as the original. Cylinder fittings and gas tubing. Cylinder fittings vary between gas types inert, oxidizing, corrosive, and flammable. Never use grease or Teflon tape to force a fitting. You may be putting together two types of incompatible fittings. Always use non sparking tools, brass or aluminium, to work on flammable or oxidizing gas fittings. Fittings and tubing must be compatible with the gas. See the GT Dangerous Gas Safety Program for compatibility information. Flammable and poisonous gases may only be used with stainless steel tubing. Regulators must be marked for the maximum cylinder pressure. Cylinder pressure may not exceed 75% of the regulator's maximum rated pressure. Must be equipped with two gauges, one to show the cylinder pressure and the other to show the outlet pressure. An exception to this is single stage regulators used for corrosive gases. Never use an adapter between the regulator and the source cylinder. Never use an aid such as Teflon tape to connect a regulator to a cylinder. After attaching a pressure reducing regulator to a compressed gas cylinder, turn the regulator adjustment screw out counterclockwise until it feels loose. Stand behind the cylinder with the valve outlet facing away from you and observe the high pressure gauge on the regulator from an angle. Never pressurize a gauge while looking directly at it. Open the valve handle on the gas cylinder slowly until you hear the space between the cylinder valve and regulator fill with gas. You can also watch the pressure rise on the high pressure gauge. If you turn the adjustment screw properly, there should be no gas flow out of the regulator and no pressure rise on the low flow pressure gauge. When you are ready to use the cylinder, open the valve until you feel it stop. Then turn it back 1/4 turn. If the regulator does not come with a hand wheel, the wrench needed to open it must be left at the cylinder so that it can be closed quickly in the event of an emergency. Cylinder use. Be sure all connections are right tight. Use soapy water to locate leaks. See the Dangerous Gas Safety Program for leak testing on dangerous gas systems. Keep cylinder valves, regulators, couplings, hose, and apparatus clean and free of oil and grease. Keep cylinders away from open flames and sources of heat. Safety devices and valves shall not be tampered with, nor repair attempted. Use flashback arresters and reverse flow check valves to prevent flashback when using oxy fuel systems. Regulators shall be removed when moving cylinders, when work is completed, and when cylinders are empty. Cylinders shall be used and stored in an upright position. The cylinder valve should always be opened slowly. Always stand away from the face and in the back of the gauge when opening the cylinder valve. When a special wrench is required to open a cylinder or manifold valve, the wrench shall be left in place on the valve stem when in use. This precaution is taken so the gas supply can be shut off quickly in case of an emergency, and that nothing shall be placed on top of the cylinder that may damage the safety device or interfere with the quick closing of the valve. Fire extinguisher equipment should be readily available when combustible materials can be exposed to welding or cutting operations using compressed cylinder gases. Welding and cutting operations in labs require a hot work permit. The purchase and use of dangerous gases fall under the Georgia Tech Dangerous Gas Safety Program. Please review this program before purchasing any quantity or concentration of dangerous gases to ensure that you are handling the material per Georgia Tech rules and state fire codes. Thank you for watching my video. Do remember to subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon to receive notifications regarding my further informative video clips. Like, comment and share my videos to encourage me and my team. Have a good time. See you in the next clip. Till then, goodbye.